because I know they make me at other places.
Can you refer to it that it's already posted on the website?
I'll do whatever the attorney tells me to do, but the attorney's not there. So
That's right.
I'll do whatever the general manager tells me to do, and he said no.
Scott, we are now broadcasting live.
Well, now I better do it. Okay, so I'm going to call the Projects and Services Committee meeting to order for August 24th. As you know, at the beginning of the agenda, there's a coronavirus disease advisories and meeting procedures. I suggest that if you'd like to know about them, you can read them on the first page of the agenda. Having said that, I will say this though. Well, I'm not going to say that. We'll see. We're going to dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance because I think the public gets tired of looking at our bellies and it never seems to work. It's not that we're not patriotic, and I would ask that everybody spend a patriotic moment today in lieu of the pledge. Having said that, I'll ask for a roll call.
Director Brown,
Yes, here.
Vice Chair Hubbard,
Here.
Director Warner,
Here.
Chair Haggerty.
I'm here. Thank you. Next time, meeting open to the public. Hold on a second. Let me see something. I want to see if we do have participants on. Hold on.
Yes, there
Wireless-
is one participant.
Wireless mouse and wireless keyboards are no bueno. We have one attendee. Okay, so I will go through this then. So meetings open to the public, this time in which you can speak to anything that's not on today's agenda. Do we have any written comments?
No, there were no written comments.
Okay, and does anybody wish to speak under public comment? Okay, we'll move forward then. I'm assuming not. So now I'm looking for an approval of the minutes of June 22nd for the P&S committee.
I'll
So
move
moved.
approval.
I got Warner and I got Brown. Is there any objection to the motion? I'm sorry, roll call vote.
Director Brown,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Warner,
Aye.
Chair Haggerty.
Yes, thank you. Okay, the next item, I kind of like this item, Mike. This is my idea at MTC. We were getting beat up by the advocates, and this is simply a resolution. I'm sure I'll let Michael do his exactly. I'll let him do his report. But you know, there's a lot of fear, mostly out amongst the larger agencies, that they're just not going to do this healthy transit plan. So we asked for a resolution from each board that puts each board member on the hook to make sure that we are doing what you know, we can do to make sure that transit is healthy and safe for the people that we represent. So Michael, with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, sounds great. So collectively, the transit agencies in the Bay Area, we've been meeting weekly. And so we have created through committee work and then up through the GMs this publication, Writing Together Bay Area Healthy Transit Plan. And I won't repeat what Scott said, but you know, I think the common denominator is we want a really healthy transit system throughout the Bay Area, one that's consistent. So no matter if you're riding LAFTA or BART or Muni or what system it may be, as part of your journey, you get a consistent feel for health and safety standards. This publication, if you went to pages 16 and 17, if you were looking for really 2 pages to kind of summarize both from a customer perspective and from a transit agency employee perspective, what these standards are that are the resolution identifies as a commitment that we're making with the other transit agencies. These would be 2 good pages. You know, it covers things from face coverings, that's important for not only the driver or the operator of the bus, but it's important for the customer to have a face covering. And of course, we carry face coverings in case you don't have one, so that you can get one from an operator and have one on the bus. Physical distancing. The World Health Organization recommends a minimum of 1 meter or approximately 3 feet. we've been going off of the Alameda County's public health officer's recommendation of 6 feet, but certainly recognize that that could change. So this is in fact a living document that can change as we go forward in time. It talks about the importance of a quiet ride, so that you minimize the spread potentially of the particulates with COVID. The importance of cleanliness, cleaning and disinfecting surfaces. I've also put in it as an attachment basically some additional information in regard to how we're working with these minimum standards at LAFTA, which in general, we go above and beyond what these minimum standards are that are identified. For instance, we bought fogging machines that fog the buses at night. And we have given the operators toolkits to work with, so to speak, Lysol and so on, so that they can disinfect high areas where passengers would most frequently touch as they use the bus system. We're fare free at the moment, which means that there's no fares being exchanged and no opportunities really there for folks to be touching fare boxes, which subsequent customers would then touch, and so on. So I won't go through them all, but they're pretty comprehensive. I think it's really the first time ever that I've certainly seen the GMs at each of the transit agencies working so closely to try and integrate and find a common set of a baseline set of standards so that you get real consistency throughout the system. So as mentioned by Supervisor Haggerty, each of the transit agencies are going to their board. They're getting a resolution that this is owned by the transit agencies and will be followed. Reporting will take place through this health and safety plan through a dashboard. So once a month, we'll submit data, which will be collected and then given to the Blue Ribbon Task Force and the public to show how we're doing with following these minimum standards. And Tony, of course, your director of marketing, is working on a communication plan to make sure that we do a really good job of communicating with the public and our customers about these standards and what the expectations are of the bus system. I thought, I'd go through just maybe 30 seconds worth of this additional information, this attachment 3. I just kind of hit a couple of highlights. I mentioned that we're disinfecting the buses on a daily basis. We have hand sanitizer available on all of the buses and also at the transit centers. So if you walk on a bus, you're going to see a hand sanitizer available for your usage. We've put in place a temporary germ guard so that if a passenger does come anywhere near the operator, there's a protective barrier there. We're working on a more permanent solution. We've also worked a lot on vehicle ventilation, and they go off of a minimum efficiency reporting value, or a MERV rating, in regard to the HVAC system and the filter. Our manufacturer has recommended that we don't go above what they call a MERV 7 with these filters. So we currently have MERV 7 on all of the buses. I think we were at a MERV 3 pre-COVID. So we've ramped that up, and they're doing additional testing to see if there are any other air filters that they might recommend for us. And I think there was probably one other one in regard to a communication strategy. I think it's, as the folks come back that are the commuters onto the system, I think of utmost importance is going to be just real-time information, what they can get from their smartphone or from their computer as they are looking at riding the bus system on a particular day. And we've worked with transit apps so that not only do you see the bus in real time on the app, but you can also access whether the bus is full or not with passengers or partly full. You can basically see whether or not you're going to have other folks on that bus as it approaches. So we think that's helpful. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I think it is a good start for the transit agencies with these baseline standards. everyone seems to be tuned in and basically willing to commit to them for consistency. So that resolution that you'll be forwarding to the board will basically commit us to those standards.
So Michael, one real quick thing. I think that we should do a 30-second PSA, with maybe some drivers wearing masks, showing the fogging, showing the wipe down during the day, things like that, and basically I think we could do this where we'd probably get an AdWill award out of it or something like that. But I think more importantly, we show the people that live in the Tri-Valley that we are committed. And I think it will help us achieve riders again, because probably some parents are holding their kids off the buses. And, maybe even along the lines where we wear our masks, you need to also, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jerry, I'm not the marketing guy, but it seems like we should look at maybe having Tom look at doing something like that, maybe working with like Amos Productions or somebody like that. So that's my thought, but anybody else have anything? Are we raising hands or just talking? Okay, go ahead, Carla.
Yeah, I was thinking the same ideas about even doing print marketing in the Independent or the Weekly to raise awareness that we do have these hyper clean buses. The image that you had about all the wipe downs, things like that, almost make a nice marketing piece. But I agree with Supervisor Haggerty that we're doing this incredible job, but we need to get the word out. And PSAs are a great way, print ads, Facebook, anything, even the riders that ride, making them aware so they can bring a friend.
Sounds great. Have you as policymakers seen what these foggers do inside the bus?
No, that's what, I've seen a fogger working on a plane.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen, I assume it was the same way as a bus, but.
Let me see if see if this will work. Basically, this is a picture of the foggers that we bought, and
kind
is
of
that
looks
working?
like the sky.
yeah.
Huh.
What is the green light doing?
Tone, you know what that green light is that's shown in there? I think it's a reflection off of something, Scott. Perhaps the LED off the fogger machine, or
No, the mechanic were playing with a laser pen.
okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think it's great. I think we should show the public.
Got it.
Anybody else? So
Definitely show the public. I agree.
is somebody making a motion to approve the resolution?
Make a motion to approve the resolution and forward this to the board.
Moved by Brown, seconded by Warner. Roll call.
Director Brand,
Yes.
Vice Chair Halbert,
Yes.
Director Warner,
Yes.
Chair Haggerty.
Yes. Okay, motion passed unanimously. Michael, I know that this is a short agenda, but I know that, you wanted to get this on, and I as the chair of MTC, I appreciate that, because I think this needs to, we're kind of showing the way for the other transit agencies that this is serious and we're going to take it serious. So I appreciate you, I know it's a light agenda, maybe would have been one of those ones where normally you'd say, hey, can we cancel it? But this was an important item. So I appreciate you taking that. All right, so with that, I'll go to your executive director's report.
Yeah, so I'm basically coming off of almost a 3-week vacation. So my staff, though, has been working, diligently behind the scenes. I've got a little bit of ridership information for you. When school started, obviously it's distance learning. We saw just a little bit less ridership on the weekdays. We're still hanging around just under 1,300 passengers a day and about 40 passengers a day with the paratransit. Again, we're really just working on making sure that we've got our minimum standards in place, recognizing that there's a shelter in place that's still there, and we're not expecting to see a big ridership increase in the short term while that's in place. I've got some information on the transit signal priority upgrade and the expansion project there that you can read about. long story short, we're just working through communication issues with the various systems on that project, but everything that needed to be installed is installed. The Pleasanton Santa Rita Rapid Bus Stop project, that certainly we're getting quite a few calls on that. I will say that Nelson and the team there at the city of Pleasanton have been really accommodating and easy to work with on that project. All of the equipment's in. We've got a notice to proceed that's been issued, and I think worst case scenario, we're looking for that project to wind down about mid-December, but I'm trying to push it and get it done earlier. Just kind of knowing that there is some buffer in that schedule that we're trying to take advantage of and eliminate if we can. We did put up the Measure B signs in the project area, so you might see those. We're working with an artist to get a conceptual design quickly kind of put together on what the bus stops will look like, so we can work with the Pleasanton Weekly and get it into the media, what those stops will look like. We've been working on the Dublin parking garage. I think the big thing there is we turned in the convertibility plan right before I left on vacation to the state. Haven't heard back from them, which is probably good news. But I'll follow up with them. I'm assuming that it's what they wanted. And then the county's got the RFP out to bring on board the design build contract to try and get some, get some shovels in the ground, hopefully by the end of the calendar year, even if it's just for street improvements associated with that project. Tone's been working on the zero emission bus study. We'll have more at your next committee meeting on that as to how that's going. That's really moving forward quickly. Go Tri-Valley. There's just not very many trips being taken on that, as you can imagine, with the shelter in place. But I think Tone's got some information there in regard to kind of what the average trip subsidy is with that program. And of course, you've seen what's going on with Uber and Lyft in the media in regard to, having their, just can't even remember what they called. But anyway, having their drivers be employees or not, how they're navigating that. And then you've got the shared autonomous vehicle project. That project's moving along smoothly. And we're even talking about perhaps getting that shared autonomous vehicle into revenue service, or at least having it be able to circulate the public as they opt to utilize that at some point in September. So I'll keep you posted on that. Anything we do in regard to that, we'll make a splash in the media with. Tony, has some really great ideas on how to market when we put that into service where the public can come and ride that on the days that they'd like to. So, that kind of concludes the report. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? Well, I didn't know you were on 3 weeks vacation.
Almost. It's like 2.5.
Yeah, I'm not your neighbor anymore, so I can't keep an eye on you.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay, so Director Warner.
You mentioned it earlier, but on the ridership, is that stabilized or increasing slightly, or what can you say on that?
Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we were just kind of hovering a hair over 1,300 passengers a day, and then once school got into session and the students became involved with distance learning and doing that during the day, our ridership just kind of settled a bit, maybe 30 passengers a day less. But Tony, you've got the latest on that.
That's pretty close. We were hitting about 1,300 a day, and then when school started, it's like 1,250 or so. Just by comparison, the first week of school last year, we were over 8,000 a day.
Almost makes me cry hearing that.
Not as bad as some agencies. Director Brown?
Yeah, I hear different schools are going to a hybrid model. Are you keeping in touch with both Dublin, Livermore, and Pleasanton, I guess the 3 cities, to find out when we're going to see riders again? I realize that there's the health directive from the county that needs to be taken into consideration, But the schools, at least in Pleasanton, are planning for a hybrid model coming up once we get that clearance. So we get some riders.
Is that what you're hearing, Tony?
We have reached out to the schools. There is what we told the school districts was we had budgeted enough funds for the same level of service that we provided last year. And unfortunately, that's not going to be sufficient. Like at Dublin High School, for example, at school dismissal time, we typically would take 500, 550 students in 12 buses. We would have 55 to 65 students on a single bus. That's not social distancing. And we don't have enough vehicles to provide the level of service that would be needed to have 12 students per bus. So what we've asked we actually sent emails to all 3 superintendents in April when the whole thing started and informed them of this and that they might have to come forward with either more money to supplement our service or look elsewhere to some charter operations if they wanted to continue at the same level of service.
You're saying a full bus and you can only put 12 students on it?
If you keep them 6 feet apart.
And when we talk transit right now, airplanes, I'm hearing that even middle seats are taken on airplanes. Is that because of high airflow? Do they get an exemption? As again, we're assuming everybody's wearing a mask when they're on these buses. And of course, I want everybody to be safe, but 12 students on an entire bus just seems excessive. So.
Well, I'll remind you of the action item you just approved.
Yeah. Thank you.
That spoke to social distancing on transit vehicles.
I should have read the fine print. 12
Wants a
riders.
resolution. Okay.
Okay, can't argue with that.
All right. Anybody else? All right, Michael. Preview of upcoming PNS committee agenda items. Anything?
Yeah, other than what's in print there, if the committee members are wanting to address something else, be happy to put it on.
Any questions, thoughts, comments, exciting things? Okay, matters initiated by committee members? None. Our next meeting is September 28, 2020. I have some good news. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.